Aloha, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today we're checking out the USS Missouri and Pearl Harbor. This is the second Iowa we've been to, with the Wisconsin being the first like 5 years ago. So join us today as we check out both the Missouri and Pearl Harbor. Hope you guys enjoy and stick around for some behind-the-scenes stuff, actually on the IRL channel. So make sure you check that out. It's been a bit since anything's been uploaded to that, but make sure you check that out. Link to that will be around here. So join us as we check out the Missouri.
She is. This is a dental hygienist. This is me. This could be me.
And your man?
My man. Gotta reap those military benefits.
This is where World War II ended.
Right here?
Yeah, this is where World War II ended.
It's crazy.
Wait, where it ended?
Mm-hmm. So you got MacArthur right here.
Yeah, look, this is where they sign papers at.
Oh no, it ended the Japanese theater.
The
Europe
Germans
formally surrendered like in May, right?
Yeah.
Like May 5th or something.
Like it was like 2 days after Hitler killed himself.
Yeah, yeah. It
And
was
then
like a week
the
after,
Japanese
like 5 days
kept
later. It was like May 5th. I
the
think.
Japanese kept fighting.
Yeah, until it was a couple months later. It was like 3 months or something.
Yeah, this is where Canada signed in the wrong spot.
No.
So like everybody else was like they were all like one line off. Right there, you see how the Canadian one's blank? He signed in the wrong spot. So if you look underneath it, they just had to scratch out the actual printed, representative yada yada, and then they had to keep going down from there.
Oh no.
Because Canada signed in the wrong spot.
I know not.
Oh, it's wonderful. That's, look, I've missigned some stuff before, but that, wow. So you see how Canada's blank right there? It's because they signed where the French were supposed to sign. Can we go in one of these? I think we can go in that turn. Get up in here, but you can't like go in. Aw. That's a little disappointing.
Caleb, they got the Dole Whip machine. No, it's an ice cream machine.
Yeah, soft.
They got the Dole Whip, bro.
That's just ice cream. That's not even like a World War II ice cream machine. That's like an 80s or 90s. Because these ships were brought back during the Cold War. So they were modernized.
So they had just the soldiers out here, double-fisted saucer poles.
Same with 42, it served during World War II, and then Korea got decommissioned, recommissioned in the 80s because of Ronald Reagan, and then modernized extensively. This one's got the CIWS, the missiles and such. Then it was went on into the Cold War. The first Gulf War was the last time that the Missouri Wisconsin fired their guns. Was at Iraqi positions. So she served from like 40, 50, 80, 40, 50 years.
Was the whole thing about like trench warfare?
Oh, that's a cool jacket.
Yeah, like the giant cameras.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was after she was modernized. The modernization process did not go well like the first time. I think it was like over budget. Most of the machines, the hydraulics leaked like barrels of oil every day. So it was a bit of a handful getting them in proper shape, and a lot of money too.
Is this the library? Oh yes. No crud, Bethany. This is the library.
You see the center that says Cruise Library?
Yeah, we're kidding.
I see it now.
Okay.
Books and books for a reasonable amount of days. Look at the old typewriter. It's like the 1980s style.
Yeah,
or 70s.
Yeah, I think it's that's a
That's like the electric typewriter. I remember my mom talking about how they had like the mechanical typewriters in school, and then she like her senior year they got like electric typewriters, so she didn't have to like lose her fingers typewriting. Oh, it's the TV from school. We were rolling out school.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Are we watching Schoolhouse Rock? Oh my god.
Oh, these are cool.
For all the officers.
Oh, cool.
That's sick, brother.
That's so cool.
So everyone had their own little coffee cups.
The officers.
They had matching coffee cups.
Oh no.
How cute.
It's the
Twins.
It's uniform.
You're not gonna have
Everybody's got to have the same thing.
Where have you been? Yeah.
There's no fake food here. Normally these zoom ships have pretty good looking fake food.
Yeah, I know. I don't see any.
Seeing all these messages.
It's normally the fake food that's really good too. Look at the old confused.
Museum quality.
So they called the mess hall the Truman line. Is that what that like?
I'm guessing so. Yeah.
Probably.
So that's why it says Truman line. I'm asking, does any of this look familiar to you?
Now I'll look at it. Let's see.
This dental hygienist.
Let me see. Let me tell y'all. Oh yeah, that's about right. Bruh, not the photo. Oh my gosh.
Does it look more modern to what you use than?
No, Cap. I'm so much more modern than this. Oh, look at that. Look at their little tray on the side. And not the overhead light. They got the spit bowl. Oh dang. Honestly, probably more room than I have in my operatory. Oh wait, they have more rooms back there. Well, yeah, of course they have a hygienist. They had to. Oh, is that their ultrasonic? Oh my god. That's crazy, bruh. Nice. Where's your rheostat? Oh, they got. Dang.
It's the senior medical officer's statement over here.
Oh, he was a rapper too. Look, it's MC Bud.
This is I'm too fat. Oh, look at this though. It is. There's not a lot of space.
I see that.
Try to get in one,
It's
Caleb.
like massive on like a modern submarine.
Can you get in one?
I don't want to try. I guess I will.
You got it, Caleb.
Oh my god, I couldn't.
Yeah, Caleb, you can do it. Come on, Sealord. You got it.
Oh, you have a little vent right here. Oh, that's a light.
Oh, thank God.
Maybe. That's a light. Okay, no, this is claustrophobic. That's. I don't know what it is, but it's supposed to be a room. That's one that capsized. They had to like try to cut the hull, and they go with like all these breathing lines and stuff, and cut through the bulkheads and stuff. It's horrific, actually.
A gang.
There's different divisions and stuff. A gang, he's part of A division. So.
Oh, A gang.
Oh.
I thought you meant like a gang, like.
No, A gang.
Monad. The first shipboard internet.
Oh, wow.
What was the internet, or if it was an intranet? Because the intranet's like computers talk to each other. Internet's like, you talk to computers from elsewhere around the world.
Yeah.
Because you have to have like satellite internet to be useful at sea. I would think at least. But yeah, this is the barbette, one of the turrets. This is the turret sit on. I'm trying to see if we can get into one of those, because you can't get into the turrets. They have like plexiglass around it. That's upsetting, but we'll see what can happen. 5-inch gun. They took 2 of them off when they modernized it. Just see, well, there's the missile launchers over there. See, the thing was like they didn't have enough room to really put too many missiles on it, because they had the horizontal launchers that lift up and then launch. One of the plan redesigns that they want to put a bunch of vertical launch tubes, I think in the middle somewhere up here, but it was way too expensive. But you could carry more missiles and less preparation time and just send them and yeah. But money. So those are Tomahawk launchers. I guess they can't go over there. I guess they're working on it. But yeah, we saw those in the Wisconsin. See that? See how they have like that crease there? They crack open and then they each have 4 in them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Can't go over there, unfortunately.
Whoa. Dang, brother.
Windy.
Through the forum and stormy winds we land.
You see the rotary barrel on it?
I don't know what a rotary barrel. Yes, I do. I do see the rotary barrel.
6 barrels, so
I see it.
very fast. Just use bullets at whatever it is that's coming at it. Usually missiles. I think entire the missiles actually, or small boats, or helicopters, or anything that's not supposed to be near an Iowa class battleship. So that's a cool piece of technology. They're pretty unreliable until like the 90s. There's a lot of rust up here. I'm looking at all this. Like look behind you. Like I think it's probably those decks right there because of the surface rust. Probably getting to be structural rust. Constant fight for museum ships. The fight against rust. The top of turret 1 is very rusty. I mean, that again is just surface rust, and they are working on the ship in various parts. It looks like, but it's in need of a new paint job. I think the last time we went to dry dock was when they released that battleship movie with the aliens. Because they were torn at a dry dock in that movie. That's how they were able to get the shots of her at sea in that movie. If you've seen that movie. I bet it's right here. Which a lot of people did. So this is like the nice like sailing bridge that's where they would normally control the ship. I mean, all the controls are in here. If you go back around the corner and look in there, that's where all the... No, the doors open over here.
Oh, they do that?
Yeah, you can't go in at the door so you can see it a little bit better. Yeah, it's big.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're good.
See how thick the door is?
So if you were in here and something happened, you were saying?
Ideally, yes. So we can go around. There's a chain right there, Bethany.
I see this.
What's really funny is that they were trying to figure out when those 16-inch guns would fire, the glass would shatter. So they were trying to figure out a way of how to stop the glass from shattering, like make it stronger glass, better mix or whatever. And then they decided they can just roll down the windows to stop it from shattering. So I think that's what these are right here. What's after that? These are like sunglasses are falling down. It's so hot in here. So they're like siliconed in place now, but they would roll them down before they'd fire the 16-inch guns out there. So easy. It's like chairs there. Edit that out. These are the countermeasure launchers.
Decoy launcher.
So if there's the shaft and the flares and stuff to throw off the missiles.
Japanese.
It's Japanese. Ironic. So this is a cabin when they'd be on their way. He does have a port cabin too somewhere that I could not find. But captain's cabin. His bed turned into a sofa. He had a futon. How you like that?
Hello, sir. And woman.
Hey guys, voiceover Sealord here. Couple things I want to talk about here at the end of the video. First off, massive thank you to you guys. There's no way I would have been able to go to Hawaii, go to Pearl Harbor, visit the Missouri without the support from you guys watching the videos, watching the streams, all of you Patreon supporters out there. Massive, massive thank you to you guys. This was an awesome experience, the whole trip to Hawaii as a whole, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Second thing, so the Missouri. Now, I have been to an Iowa before. I've been to the Wisconsin and Virginia, and that was a pretty cool experience. I've been to many a museum ship. We have a whole playlist for these ships on the channel. This is, I think, like the 6th or 7th one that I've done a video on. I've been to quite a few of these ships beforehand before I even started doing the whole YouTube thing, because, you know, a little bit on the spectrum when it comes to boats, right? But anyway, going to Missouri was something that I had very high expectations for, because I'd been to the Wisconsin at Nauticus, and that ship is pretty dang cool, right? Especially after going to, you know, the Alabama when I was, you know, younger, and then growing up. You know, the Alabama's the biggest battleship that's, you know, within a convenient drive for me from where I live in Louisiana. And then I got to go to an Iowa with the Wisconsin, and that was, again, very cool, seeing, you know, a more modern battleship, one that had been modernized and all that jazz. So naturally, when we were able to go to the Missouri, my expectations were quite high, because it's the Missouri. It's a ship on which World War II ended. It's in Pearl Harbor, where World War II began for the United States, and it's the Missouri, right? So I'm thinking, okay, this ship has to easily be the most visited museum ship in the world. It's in one of the most popular tourist hotspots on the planet, and it's in Pearl Harbor. So like every single huge naval buff wants to go into the Missouri, wants to go to Pearl Harbor to check all of that out. And when I got there, it was kind of disappointing. Now, I'm not talking bad about like the ship itself, right? But the way the museum is set up is kind of a letdown. Why? Well, because if you notice throughout the video, there were several points where I was like, oh, well, you know, we're going to try to go here, and then here is roped off or off access for whatever reason. So when you really look at it, a lot of this video was us walking around the crew quarters, walking around, you know, officer country, the petty officer mess, the petty officer berthing areas, the petty officers mess and such, and a little bit of the superstructure, including the, you know, the bridge. That's all that's really on the general tour. Like, we literally, you saw the general tour here. I didn't really cut too much out of that besides just the walking in between, you know, from point A to point B. That's it. That's all you get in general admission. And I thought, dang, like, why can't we go in the turrets? Why can't we go in a 5-inch turret? And all the access ways that go deeper into the ship were all roped off. So I was like, well, dang, what's going on? Why is it so restricted? And, you know, the Iowas are a class of ships that were recently, in comparison to other museum ships, decommissioned, right? So I get that they're not like the Alabama that's been a museum ship since the 60s, right? And they've had, what, 50 years, 60 years at this point to get that ship open, you know, cut into the barbettes and all that. And, you know, legally, the ships are supposed to be available to be reactivated within a certain amount of time, so you can't do a whole lot of modifications to it and stuff. I understand all that. But I was expecting the Missouri to be more open than the Wisconsin because, again, clearly the Missouri must get more visitors every year being in Pearl Harbor and in Hawaii, right? So I was expecting more from the ship. And then I got digging around on their website, and this is where a lot of the disappointment comes in. So if you want to go into the turret, you have to pay for an additional tour, which is just wild to me. It's another like $35 per person on top of the $40 entrance fee into the museum, On top of course, the simple cost of getting to Hawaii, the plane ticket, the rental car, the hotel room, or the Airbnb, wherever it is that you're staying at, right? So on top of all those expenses, you have to pay another $35 to go into the turret as part of the captain's tour, which includes the captain's port cabin. I believe you heard me in the video too. I was talking like, well, here's his at sea cabin, but haven't been able to find his port cabin yet. So there's that. And then if you want to see deeper down into the ship, you have to take the engineer tour that lets you see a bit of the engine room and Broadway, that compartment that runs pretty much the length of the ship. It's got the rails on top for transporting the 16-inch shells, right? You have to pay extra for that, which is another $35 on top of, again, the $40 you paid to get in, the $35 for the captain's tour, then another $35 for that. And most of that is open on like the Wisconsin. You can go down to Broadway. You can go in the turrets on the Wisconsin. We did it in our Wisconsin video, right? That's all part of the general admission tour. So that's a big disappointment to me that they've basically like broken up the more interesting parts of the ship into microtransactions, basically, which is wild. Like, and I understand, again, all the arguments about, well, it's the Iowas, they're supposed to be ready to be reactivated, some of the stuff on them is still classified. I understand all that, but like they're cutting up pretty basic things from every single other museum ship, like being allowed to, go into the turrets and just see how the turrets work and stuff and such. That every single museum ship I've been to lets you crawl around in the turrets with general admission, right? Like that's just pretty wild that is something that they're charging extra for, in my book. Same with just getting down deeper into the ship. Like that's where all the interesting stuff is at that everyone wants to see. Like you guys saw in decks too, we couldn't go walk by the Tomahawk launchers. We couldn't go walk in front of the CIWS. Now some of that might have been because of the rust issue that was going on with the areas around that. That again, I'm sympathetic to that. I understand salt water is rough on metal. The ship's probably getting ready to go into a dry dock. It's been 10, 15 years since its last one, so it's probably coming up around the quarter for it. I understand that, but the fact that, you've got all this area in the superstructure roped off that we can't go visit. We can't go into the turrets. We can't go down below decks unless you pay another, $40, and we're with a party of 5, so that's another $200, that we weren't really factoring into our budget for the whole trip, because we did go during what is essentially the off season in Hawaii, which is how we could afford to do it. None of us are making insane amounts of money, right? So, we're on a pretty tight budget, and then when that hits you, it's like, oh, well, dang, that kind of sucks, right? And I understand that the ship needs money to survive, but she's in one of the single best places on the planet for a museum ship to be. She's in Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Hawaii is one of the hottest tourist destinations in the world. Pearl Harbor is one of the hottest tourist destinations in the world. Every naval history buff wants to see Pearl Harbor, and they want to see the Missouri. She gets I believe just under 2 million visitors a year. And if you look up their finances, the museum clears $2 million a year in revenue. I'd like to think with that type of income, you can open up a turret or two as part of general admission. You can open up a little bit more of the ship to general admission. I'm not saying you have to stop, the paid tours where you get to go down, deep into the ship and see all the things that aren't open to the general public. But some more basic stuff that's included on every single other museum ship in the world would be nice, in my opinion, especially again for the fact that you have to pay umpteen $1,000 to get on the island, and it's Hawaii, so existing on Hawaii is fairly expensive as a tourist, or especially as someone living there, right? So I'd like to think that, you can open up a little bit more of the ship, make it a little bit more accessible. So if you want to see an Iowa and get to crawl over in Iowa, Missouri's probably not the ship you need to go see. Now, granted, I've only been to 2 Iowas so far, but Wisconsin was far more opened. You could crawl over in the turret, you could go down to Broadway, and there's a lot more of the ship you could see as part of the general admission than the Missouri. So if you want to see an Iowa, again, of the 2 that I've been to, go check out Wisconsin. And don't get me wrong, Missouri is cool and all. Pearl Harbor is, of course, one of the most historically significant places on the planet. World War II did end on the decks of the Missouri. It's cool to see all that, but just from looking at it from a point of view of I want to see the inner workings of the ship, I want to see the turrets, I want to see inside the barbettes, I want to see, all the goodies inside. There's way more to see on the Wisconsin than there is on the Missouri, at least at the time of recording this video. Who knows, maybe they're planning on opening up more of it in the future. I like to think that, she opened in 1999. We are now 26 years away from that opening date. I'd like to think that, more of it would be accessible to the public at this time, but again, they have their own contracts with the Navy and all that jazz, so maybe it is just super slow going. But yeah, if you want to see, more of an Iowa, more of the inner workings of an Iowa, check out Wisconsin. You want to see, again, a super historical place. Pearl Harbor was very interesting being there. I loved being there, but I was just a little disappointed with the level of access on the ship itself. So that's my 2 cents on that. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and all of that good stuff. Hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.